Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to our study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah. I am your host and study guide and friend, Jacqueline Claire. If you're joining for the first time, welcome. Linked below, you will find a launch video for this project if you want to understand a little bit more the context of what this is and why we're reading it. Excavating spiritual solutions for all of the world's problems, nothing less, and also deepening in some Baha'i literature, becoming more aware of the Baha'i Faith or your faith if you are a Baha'i. And linked below, you will also find the playlist. This is a weekly series, I call it a study a God. Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied. A study along. It's a study along. I read to you, and we're studying along together. So you'll find the playlist of all the study along videos leading up to today, as well as this document if you want to read along, and a study guide. So today we are wrapping up one of the letters in this book, which is a compilation of letters. It was written March 21st, 1932, and this section in particular is very time-bound and specific. It's called Our Beloved Temple, and it is about the construction of the Baha'i House of Worship in Wilmette, Illinois. And because it's so time-bound and specific, on the surface, it appears to not really be relevant. Because this is a letter, it's very practical. He's talking about something specific that has already been completed. However, I really want us to get to read through this whole book without abridging it. So in that spirit, we're going to study along with it. And also, I know that there are spiritual principles in this section that are eternally relevant. And for you personally, there might be something, just a phrasing or a concept or a sentence that is just what you need to hear today that applies to something going on in your life. So in that spirit, let us jump into Our Beloved Temple. And finally, dearly beloved brethren, let me once more direct your attention to the pressing claims of the Mashral Asghar, our beloved temple. Mashral Asghar is a place of worship. Need I remind you of the imperative necessity of carrying out to a successful conclusion while there is yet time the great enterprise to which, before the eyes of a watching world, we stand committed? Need I stress the great damage which further delay in the prosecution of this divinely appointed task must, even in these critical and unforeseen circumstances, inflict upon the prestige of our beloved cause? So even though there's chaos and turmoil in the world, even though you're struggling and having challenges as a community, for the sake of the cause, these things have to be done. Maybe you relate to that. Maybe there's something going on. I can assure you, acutely conscious of the stringency of the circumstances with which you are faced, the embarrassments under which you labor, the cares with which you are burdened, the pressing urgency of the demands that are being incessantly made upon your depleted resources. I am, however, still more profoundly aware of the unprecedented character of the opportunity which it is your privilege to seize and utilize. I am aware of the incalculable blessings that must await the termination of a collective enterprise, which, by the range and quality of the sacrifices it entailed, deserves to be ranked among the most outstanding examples of Baha'i solidarity ever since those deeds of brilliant heroism immortalized by the memory of the heroes of Nayariz, of Zanjan, and of Tabrizi. I appeal to you, therefore, friends and fellow disciples of Baha'u'llah, for a more abundant measure of self-sacrifice, for a higher standard of concerted effort, for a still more compelling evidence of the reality of the faith that glows within you. Let's apply that, right? A more concerted effort, still more compelling evidence of the reality of the faith that glows within us, and a more abundant measure of self-sacrifice. And in this fervent plea, my voice is once more reinforced by the passionate and perhaps the last entreaty of the greatest holy leaf. The greatest holy leaf was the daughter of Baha'u'llah, prophet founder of the Baha'i Faith. So she was the sister of Abdu'l-Baha, and she was the great aunt of Shoghi Effendi. So not only was she Shoghi Effendi's like a link from Baha'u'llah down to Shoghi Effendi, just her presence, right? The daughter of Baha'u'llah, and the great aunt of Shoghi Effendi, but she was truly his great aunt. She was so loyal and faithful to him when there was much challenge and disunity within the Holy Family. And I see her like his rock, you know? She held the faith together after the passing of Abdu'l-Baha, when Shoghi Effendi found out that he, as a young man, was guardian of the Baha'i Faith and was just totally blindsided by that, and she held it together until he was ready to take on his task. And then during his ministry, she was his rock, you know? So that is who the greatest holy leaf is, and also the spirit and the archetype which he is using here in this appeal and reminder to us. So the passionate and perhaps last entreaty of the greatest holy leaf, whose spirit, now hovering on the edge of the great beyond, longs to carry on its flight to the Abha kingdom and into the presence of a divine and almighty Father, an assurance of the joyous consummation of an enterprise, the progress of which has so greatly brightened the closing days of her earthly life. So he's saying, come on, do it for the greatest holy leaf, so that in her journey through the realms of God, she can say, hey, the friends have accomplished these things which we put into motion. That's how I understand what he's saying here. That the American believers, those stout-hearted pioneers of the faith of Baha'u'llah, will unanimously respond with the same spontaneous generosity, that same measure of self-sacrifice, as have characterized their response to her appeals in the past. No one who is familiar with the vitality of their faith can possibly question. Would to God that by the end of the spring of the year 1933, so this is the beginning of spring, March 21st, 1932, so a year and a month, or a year and 3 months, I guess. By the spring of 1933, the multitudes who, what happened that year in Chicago? From the remote corners of the globe will throng the grounds of the great fair to be held in the neighborhood of that hallowed shrine, may, as a result of your sustained spirit of self-sacrifice, be privileged to gaze on the arrayed splendor of its dome, a dome that shall stand as a flaming beacon and a symbol of hope amidst the gloom of a despairing world. If you have not seen the Wilmette Temple, beautiful lacework temple, check out the links below. I have pictures of it. Yeah, thanks so much for studying with me, you guys. Shoghi Effendi signs off, your true brother, Shoghi. Haifa, Palestine, March 21st, 1932. Friends, if you have enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button. It just helps more people find this content. Feel free to comment. I'm pretty good about responding. I always read them, and I love the interaction that happens, so please do that. Remember to subscribe and let your friends know about this channel, anyone you think would enjoy this. So feel free to post on social or send in your listservs or email lists or whatever. Yeah, I just want more people to study along with us, and it's really helpful to me. Until next time, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world a better place. I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.